Hi, my name is William Van, and today we're going to be looking at digital culture and educational ministry foundations and how digital culture is impacting our beliefs and values. Before we can begin, we have to understand a few of the terms that we're going to be using, and we have to create those definitions so we all have a good frame of reference. First definition or first item we need to define is what digital culture actually is. Now, digital culture is kind of, well, as it says here, a blanket term, and you can find a whole bunch of different definitions online for digital culture, and sometimes it's synonymous with other phrases like cyberculture. But this one I have here, I believe, is actually the best encompassing definition that's found from Digital Culturist. And it's the idea that digital culture is just kind of this blanket concept. It's a term we give to the idea that technology and the internet is significantly impacting how we think, how we behave, and how we communicate as human beings in our societal settings, both online and in person. Next definition we have is the meme, or what memes actually are, and in this case we're talking about usually photos, sometimes videos, or GIFs, depending on the format that's being used, but it usually has some sort of deeper meaning attached to it, as well as a short text base on the top and bottom of whatever medium's being used. The next term we have is Fortnite. Fortnite is a battle royale game. That's where 100 people are dropped into an arena. The arena is shrinking and only one person emerges as victor. And it's a game created by Epic Games. YouTube. YouTube is the world's largest video viewing and sharing platform. And Twitch is a live streaming video platform specifically aimed at gamers, but also has other areas of live streaming as well. The first thing we want to talk about is meme culture. Meme culture and digital culture are kind of synonymous. The meme itself, as you can see here, where we have like Sad Keanu or a First Day on the Internet Kid, or as this one's called, Scumbag Teacher, and of course Rickrolling. Memes are nothing new. They've been around way before the invention of the internet, but it was in smaller settings, usually more like inside jokes. The meme itself has created this whole kind of basis of satire and quick communication, but also assigning specific ideas, values, or even feelings to these pictures to create a short message. Now, this is being used within our educational setting, usually by students as a form of consumption. And memes are good and memes are bad. And that, of course, is objective. But when we look at the content itself, sometimes we have really inappropriate stuff going on memes. The photo of the meme itself, super inappropriate. Maybe it's attached to a movie that has a lot more connotation or a lot more ideas that aren't necessarily Christian values. Or it's something as benign as the stock photo here and a photoshopped image of Keanu Reeves being sad. But memes themselves, depending on how you want to look at it, are not inherently bad. It's the value that we've assigned to them as a culture. And in many ways, the meme itself is used to be a parody or satirize, or even provide a biting comment or critique on a specific idea. The opportunities in meme culture that we can actually use for our benefit is that it is a great way to make pointed comments that engage students. The idea that we can attach meaning, there's a constructed societal meaning that everybody works with off of a photo and what that photo is supposed to represent, and then adding short bits of text to it, we can create those extremely pointed contents. It's also a great way to express creativeness, humor, and insight. Really, a great blessing of meme culture, as weird as it sounds, is that it is not restricted to an age group. Now, we normally assign memes to people under the age of 30, but I know 70-year-olds who look at memes and share memes. So there is a huge cross gap between the ages. And it's also a great way to make a point. Now, the challenges and dangers of meme culture specifically, we really focus on the content. Is the content being used for the meme appropriate? Maybe you want to make some sort of Christian message, but you use an image of John Goodman, loading his gun from The Big Lebowski. Now, that movie has a lot of weight and baggage behind it, and therefore some of your message might be lost to the viewer or whoever is consuming that meme, even if you're trying to put a positive content on it. So understanding what each meme is, what its value is, and where it's coming from is important, and that is a huge challenge. But there's also the other issue of how some certain groups attach to different memes. And one of those groups we can talk about is the alt-right using the Pepe the Frog. That's kind of become their meme mascot, if you want to call it that. And it was originally a frog created as a comic character once by a creator and then kind of left to die on the internet. And then all of a sudden it got absorbed by the alt-right. And now it has specific connotations that when you use Pepe the Frog, that you are prescribing some sort of alt-right neo-Nazi message. So keeping that in mind, that is a huge danger when considering on using memes. Now, we could use memes in the classroom as a great way to interact with students, create different rules for the classroom, or even have students create their own memes relating to certain concepts and things like maybe history or science, or even just allowing them to express themselves creatively in school. Next is Fortnite. We can't have a conversation about digital culture in 2018 without talking about Fortnite. And Fortnite is this incredible game, as I mentioned earlier. It's that player versus player battle royale style, although there are options to work in duos or squads or even a 50 versus 50 combat. So there's a lot more than just going out, killing, and obtaining the victory. There is levels of collaboration and cooperation. And what's interesting about Fortnite is they create these in real-time game events that can only be watched once, and that's it. So Fortnite creates a fear of missing out, or FOMO, if you want to go with the abbreviation for that. And the players will cooperate not to kill each other so nobody misses out on the event, or as they also do sometimes, which is called meme strats or meme strategies, finding the most ridiculous things to do in Fortnite. Now, what's fascinating about Fortnite is the fact that we can see its explosion here. And originally, Minecraft was like the thing on YouTube when we looked at it. And this graph here shows exactly how prevalent Fortnite is, that once it started to explode back in November of 2017, you can really see that uptick in trending searches and views right there. We see Minecraft steeply drops off. People stopped caring about Minecraft and it was replaced with Fortnite. Therefore, it is in our digital culture, and we see what are called emotes, the dances in the game, making their way into our students' cultures. They're copying them, they're parodying them, they're integrating them into their real life. Something that was digital is now being used as a way to express happiness in life, which is kind of weird. What's cool and really interesting about Fortnite is it uses Bartle's taxonomy. If you're not familiar with Bartle's taxonomy, it's this, basically it's a breakdown of there's 4 specific types of players, and Fortnite is able to monopolize and engage each of those 4 types of players, depending on if they like acting on the world or acting on players or interacting with the world and interacting with players or all sorts of stuff. So Fortnite is able to gather everyone together, and it is bringing everyone together, and that's why it is so prevalent in culture as we speak right now. Opportunities of Fortnite. I think it is imperative that if you are working in education that you have played Fortnite at least once and you have consumed at least one YouTube Fortnite video. That way you have the ability to interact with your students. Being able to interact with them on their own level, on their own interests, is a great way to then look at how we can integrate digital citizenship lessons. You know, how are we good stewards in Fortnite? How can we benefit other people in Fortnite? How do we protect ourselves in Fortnite? But most importantly, we can also have that safety conversation while we're talking about this. Next, really, the challenges of Fortnite, staying current and having that meaningful integration. It's a video game, and with video games, there's challenges on how we can make that relevant to class, where kids aren't just like rolling their eyes thinking that teachers are trying to be hip and, you know, keeping up with the youths. But we really have to look at how we can make those connections and how we can have those real authentic conversations with our students using Fortnite as a possibility. A major danger that it's important to recognize with Fortnite and can explain some bullying issues in school, I've seen it happen a lot more over the last 2 years, is it creates a social ranking system based off of how many wins you have versus how many losses, how many times you die. If you don't have a win, well, that's not beneficial. People will make fun of you. It gives them a new thing to specifically focus on and use as a bullying tactic. And of course, it advocates violence. It's a game about shooting other people and killing other people to get to the top. That's advocating violence. But what's great about Fortnite, I think it's important to end on a positive, is that it spans males to females, gamers to jocks. Everyone is so into this, and it is a great way for us to focus in on it. Using it in terms of ministry is more of a challenge, but the way I look at it is if we understand what it is, how it's played, what's going on in the game at the time, we can use that as our entry point to making a connection with those kids, maybe making connections with younger people who maybe aren't necessarily Christians, but it gives us that first talking point. It's a form of getting away from the small talk of, hey, how's the weather? And then we don't talk anymore. It can help create more meaningful relationships. Now we have to finally talk about YouTube and Twitch. Now YouTube and Twitch, they are just these powerhouse services that are being consumed by our students constantly. Like, they get home, they're watching YouTube. They're at school, watching YouTube probably when they shouldn't be. And Twitch is the same way. Twitch is a way for them to engage, watching professional players play a game, almost like watching sports. It's getting to that line. Now, YouTube is the largest platform used by youth, as well as it's the second largest search engine in the world. That means people are constantly using YouTube to look things up, to use it for entertainment purposes, to just go on these long streaks where they're consuming smaller bits of content, but it's content that is highly focused at them. Now, an opportunity we can use with YouTube is that we can create safe and friendly entertainment. Entertainment that is a representation of our Christian selves and how our Christian selves represent Christ, while still providing a form of entertainment and engagement with people of any age range. What's great about it is a fantastic and easy way to deploy the gospel. And by deploy the gospel, I mean to bring the powerful message of the gospel to everyone on earth. Now, YouTube, there are country locks, like in China, but anyone with a VPN can get around that, and they can view those videos. So it does truly turn it into a global platform for spreading the message. It's also a great way to provide an alternative clean entertainment as long as you are monitoring it. You know, we see in society, in Hollywood, I should say, and the TV that we're consuming, is that things are getting a lot worse from what they used to be. There's a lot more ideas of violence being perpetuated. There's a lot more sexual innuendos that are going on, and also the language is also rising up. Now, YouTube, of course, doesn't have a filter, but if we are on YouTube, if we're creating content and that content is being recognized by YouTube's algorithm and people are enjoying it and it's providing that clean alternative, then I think that's amazing. We need to produce more of that. A challenge, of course, with YouTube, again, is that sub count and algorithm, because it does create a ranking system. It's an actual ranking system. If you have a low sub count, you're not going to be picked up by YouTube. If you have a low view count, you're not going to be picked up by YouTube, and it's not going to be as good. You're not going to be able to spread your message as much, or spread the message of Christ as much. And keeping that in mind, we have to make sure that we are producing that content that triggers those triggers the algorithm, as well as helps people sub to us, meaning that they want to consume more of what we're giving out. And also developing constant content, quality content. It should be developing constant quality content. You have to be producing a lot of videos all the time on YouTube to stay relevant on the platform itself. Otherwise, YouTube will see that you're not posting as much, and then it'll start putting you further behind in searches, and eventually you become lost in obscurity with all of the other items out there. And a danger of YouTube and Twitch, the same thing as the comments from others. How are people going to interact with your content? You are allowed to control what is being seen when people comment on your videos, but is what they're posting, is it going to be a meaningful comment, or are they going to be just using awful language, tearing you down? And of course, auto-loading of inappropriate content after your video. That is so important to remember, that there's a potential that bad content can play immediately after your good content. I recently watched a TED Talk about why YouTube Kids is so bad for children. And it's because you can go, and they showed this, you can take a video of like Mickey Mouse, and it's a good video, nothing wrong with it, and 12 videos later, you've gone to a Mickey Mouse masturbating. That's truly terrible. And when you think about, that's what kids are watching. Like, they get sucked into this idea, they're in that state of flow where nothing else is like distracting them. They're just concentrated on the next video, what's coming up, and they see that can highly damage them. And it's a perfect example of digital culture right there, because it's terrible content that they could be seeing after watching great content, and then they have the choice to be scarred by it, get rid of it, never see it again, or absorb that into their personality and then make that a part of their personality. They're taking a digital idea, putting it in themselves, and then they take themselves and they interact with society. Keeping that in mind, if we can create content that people latch onto, they want to absorb that content, and they want to make that a part of themselves and then bring it into the world, that would be the ideal situation. So, why must we be aware of digital culture and trends? Well, first off, digital culture is here, and it's going to stay. It's been around for a long time now. It's not leaving. It's getting more ingrained into our society, and it is influencing our environment in real-world culture every day at stronger and stronger levels. 2, staying relevant with trends. It's important. It's so important that we need to follow those trends. We need to fully understand those trends. And then we take those and then we make those key connections with our students. We can form connections with our students based off of the current digital trends. And we must start utilizing digital culture and technologies to stay relevant and spread the gospel. Sometimes it's easy, especially in the Lutheran bubble, that we just want to stay to ourselves. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to put ourselves out there. We don't want to make any sort of change with that. We're content with where we're at. But we need to stay relevant with the digital trends, with the digital culture. We need to take it, understand what it is, and then utilize it as a vessel to spread the gospel around the world. If you have any questions or if you want to leave any comments, please leave them below on this video. If you liked this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to check out more talks and ideas and all sorts of great stuff about education right here on EDU Thoughts. Thanks for watching.